Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? We back one more again. Coming live for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
Yo. Hey, everybody. That's not how I usually start.
Go ahead.
Wait, how do I start?
You do start like that, but you had a little hey, like a sorority hey.
Oh, I didn't do one of those, so I don't really know what that's like.
Yeah.
Okay.
No offense to the sorority people out there listening. I was talking about a white girl sorority hey.
Is that... I don't know if that's offensive or not. This episode's starting out real well.
Ooh. Stay with us, y'all. Stay with us. Come on, do it again. Come on, do it again.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Success in Black and White.
The podcast. We are back in the house one more again. We are back one more again.
Yes. Was that better?
Yeah, that was... Yes.
Good.
I got nothing but love for my white girl sororities out there. Nothing but love. All my 80 pies and...
AKIOs.
AKIOs.
That was my sister.
Oh, yeah. All y'all. Nothing but love for all y'all out there. Yes. Tridelts and everybody. Yeah. I don't know who they are. I'm just... I pass by these houses every day, so I see them when I'm driving in. So that's all I'm yelling out.
They are some nice houses.
Yeah, nothing but love for y'all. We ain't talking about white girl sororities, though.
We are not talking about white girl sororities. I don't think either one of us would know very much about that.
No, zero for me.
Yeah, I know a little bit. My sister, but not a lot. I just used to watch her do lip syncs. They were so cute. They all do their lip sync together. They were cute. It was fun to watch.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm going to cut it right there. You're not going to bait me. No, I'm not doing it. Not tonight. We're not going there.
They were cute.
Okay.
Anyway.
What are we talking about? Let's transition this. I don't even know how you transition from white girl sororities to what we talking about.
I don't know. Okay, so tonight we are talking about gratitude.
Yeah.
And I am thankful for white girl sororities. So that is the transition. Even if I was never part of one, there are plenty of good people.
That was horrible.
That was a great transition.
Okay, you're grateful for white girl sororities.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of good people came from white girl sororities.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know a lot of yes. All right.
So effectively transitioned the topic.
We grateful for y'all.
Uh-huh.
Keep it up.
Yeah, we are. Yes.
All right, come on.
Okay.
So we're talking about gratitude tonight.
We are talking about gratitude tonight, yeah.
What about gratitude?
Oh my goodness. So much about gratitude.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, honestly, this is Thanksgiving week.
Yep.
And I feel like this is like the time of year that everybody starts to feel thankful and feel like, they need to count their blessings. And I think particularly Thanksgiving Day is a time that people just get very reflective on their lives.
Right. I think that is absolutely true.
And one of the things that we wanted to do this year with our family in particular was I feel it almost, I guess we can talk more about why I feel bad saying this, but I almost feel bad saying this, but we wanted to start earlier in really counting our blessings. So we had a system where we started counting on November 1st. And so we kind of celebrated November 1st, which is also All Saints Day. But we started being thankful outwardly showing to each other, showing gratitude on November 1st, and we can talk about how we did that either later or now. I don't care.
Yeah, we can go to it now. We can talk about it now. I mean, It all kind of segues.
Yeah, it all flows together. So, and because this is also one of our tips, because it's fun especially if you have kids. It's been really positive for our 4-year-old. Who has actually taken charge of the process every night, and it's kind of fun to see. Except I just realized that we didn't do it tonight.
I know. She
Probably
wasn't
she didn't
feeling
feel well.
good. Yeah, she wasn't feeling good.
we were worried about her, so we forgot about it altogether.
And it kind of slipped her mind because she was just wanting to get back to laying down and resting.
Yeah, poor
girl. But up until tonight, what she would not let us forget.
No.
Nope. Every night she would not let us forget. So.
Yeah. So we're doing this. It's a. Thank you. It's a. Like I said, it's kind of a fun activity to do with children, especially if they're like probably 3 or older, so they kind of understand like thankfulness and to be thankful. And so we made this. Well, I made this.
We didn't do anything. I think it was
November 1st. I didn't tell Daryl I was doing this.
No, we didn't do anything. I was like, what is that? It
was actually November 1st, and we both had the day off of work. And so you had gone out to run a few errands or something. And so I stayed home and I did some cleaning. And then I made this huge drawing of a tree that I could stick on the back of our door in the kitchen. And when I'd finished that part by the time you came in, and I was sitting there like surrounded with construction paper
and scissors.
And he was like, I
was like, why is she doing arts and crafts?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing?
I thought it was like her form of therapy that she just needed to do some crafts. And I was like, I was a little confused because it was just construction paper everywhere, and she had all these shapes cut out, and then I happened to close the door and there was a tree on the back of the door. And I was like, in the jungle, the mighty jungle. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. So I made like basically the tree minus the leaves. And what Daryl walked into was me cutting out the leaves, like kind of a fall spirit, like orange and yellow and red. And I was cutting them out in leaf shapes, but they're big enough that you can write on them. Mm-hmm. And so that has been our project, is that every single night, usually the four of us, if we can get Vaughn to tell us what he's thankful for, we sit down and each of us has to write out what we're thankful for from that day.
Yeah.
And it's a good attitude check, and it's a good reflection check. Because like we know from previous episodes, Daryl is very good at reflection. I'm not so great at reflection, and I'm trying to get better. So, it's been really fun. And at first, especially with Anna, because she wanted to see, she was like, I don't get it at first, kind of like Daryl. And then we started putting the leaves up to form the tree. And she was like, wow, and so every night she'd be like, Mommy, can I help you hang the leaves on the tree after we all write down our things? And now she'll lead it. She'll be like, okay, let's do our leaves. Like, she wants to do them before we even eat. Yeah. Sometimes we're like, okay. And sometimes we're like, no, you already stuck your hand in the chicken nuggets, so let's wait till after.
Yeah.
So we all write our names on them. We write one thing that we were thankful for from that day.
Yeah.
And she usually draws, and she's usually very thankful for food. Which usually turns out to be lollipops, but that's fine because we want to get her started.
Yeah. If that's what she's thankful for, and it's nothing deep. For y'all listening, like it ain't nothing deep. I know.
mean, sometimes it is, but not most of the time. It's pretty
it ain't nothing deep. Yeah. It's what you are thankful for that day. Don't even say sort of, because I don't think because I put my laptop. I was like, ooh, I was thankful for my laptop today. Like, you know what I mean?
That was the first one you put.
It was nothing deep. Yeah.
But that's okay.
I'm thankful that my socks were comfortable today, because I got a couple of pairs that's been seeing their last days. You know, it's just like things like that you're just thankful for.
You say that's not deep, but in reality, I mean, I feel like we're doing this backwards. But in reality, I think that's actually more deep. I think people tend to overthink. Like, if they have a gratitude exercise, like in our class, we assign gratitude journals to our students.
Yes.
And they tend to overthink it to the point where they're like, well, I can't put the things, like, I can't think through the things I'm grateful for, because they think they have to have these huge, like, life-changing, extravagant, deep things for gratitude. And we're like, no, like, did you wake up this morning?
Yeah.
Like,
you got some clothes on?
Yeah.
Do you like your shirt?
Right.
You're thankful for that? You're thankful to have shoestrings in your shoes?
Yeah. So I think the only reason I say that sometimes it's deep is, do you remember that one night that Anna was like, I'm thankful for our hearts? And she was dead serious.
Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah.
That girl can get deep sometimes. So, but usually she's thankful for lollipops.
Yes.
One time she drew out chicken nuggets and peas, which I was thankful for.
Yeah, she did. She did.
But anyway, so that's a really good exercise, especially if you have kids. You can kind of see it. And it's been fun. Like, I take a picture of it once a week so we can kind of see, like, we'll be able to look back on Thanksgiving and see the progression, which is kind of cool. So
I didn't know she was taking pictures. So I just learned that tonight.
Yeah. So I've been taking pictures so we can look back and see.
Snap.
We'll share. I'll share them out so you guys can see them too. It's really cool.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we've been doing for this month. But the reason I mention it is because, and the reason I said I almost kind of feel bad saying this is that I feel like we had to have an intentional activity to really express gratitude. And I think that there's a lot of value in not only expressing gratitude, but in really thinking and having an this is a attitude of gratitude, right?
Attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
That's what we gonna name this episode.
Attitude of gratitude. I like it.
Okay. Attitude of gratitude.
I gotta write that down so we don't forget tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah. I'm curious. I wrote this down, so I want to know kind of like your past attitudes. Has there ever been a time that you, I didn't know how to say this appropriately, but like quote unquote, like you felt like your life kind of went downhill due to a lack of gratitude?
Yeah, definitely. Like you were saying when I was talking about being deep, I think that sometimes we take for granted the small things, or we overlook the small things when we've worked so hard for what we were hoping for big outcomes to. And sometimes we lose sight of the small things. And I know that definitely if I have set some goals out and I'm trying to accomplish something and I'm working hard towards it, it's easy for me to see if I missed the mark or if I'm off or I didn't reach the goal, as opposed to being grateful for what I have accomplished or the experience that I did have a chance to experience, or if there was something that I did gain. And I know that usually that's when it happens for me, when I'm striving for something or there's a big objective that I'm trying to get to, or if there's something I've been working really hard on and I haven't been able to see the rewards for my effort and my hard work. Sometimes I get down and it can go downhill and I can lose sight of all of the minor, small accomplishments and the little things that matters. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today. Well, so before I tell mine, I'm going to ask you then, have you ever seen your life turn around by changing your attitude to one of gratitude?
Yep, I have. And it's exactly like I just said. And there are a couple of like quotes of scriptures that kind of help me with that. And there are things that I say that kind of reminds me, and I remind myself that, not all is wasted, because that's how I see it. If it's not, it's like, how they say, go big or go home. Mm-hmm. I'm like, sometimes, go big or go home. But, sometimes you got to look at all of the littles that add up to the big. Mm. So
I like that.
Yeah, you got to look at the littles that add up to the big.
To the big picture.
Yeah, before you go home. Yeah. So that's my way.
So I was thinking about just times in my life where I have either found that my life, my quality of life, I guess is probably a good way to put it, has really tanked. And discovering later it's because I was not grateful for the things that I had. And then watching my life just turn around, almost instantaneously. It's so crazy because I think that we are called to be grateful. Like, if you look at even just the daily prayer that we are given from God, and he's telling us how to pray on a daily basis, there is thankfulness in there. And so I feel like if we are not intentional about being thankful, that's when you see your quality of life really go downhill. And this has definitely happened for me. And I'm somebody who, I had lunch with a good friend today, and I was just kind of telling her like my life and about me, and the fact that I am an achiever is always like in my top 5 strengths of StrengthsFinder, and that has worked for me. And it's also really, really worked against me. And it's taken me a long time to recognize that. But finally I see now, like, yes, there's good, but there's been a lot of negative things that have come from that for me. And one of those is that I'm never content. I've never just sat and been content, and I've never sat and rested. And so I was just sharing with her some of the things in my life. And one of my stories was a time that I had taken a job, and the job was just very different from what I was used to. But I took a job and I was like, this is going to be great. And within like a few weeks, I'm like, maybe this is not going to be so great. And I really started to get down because I was like, maybe I should have stayed at my old place. And it took a while, but I realized like everything, I would go to work and everything around me, I would be like, this is so wrong. I can't believe I'm here. I'm being mistreated. Like, how can this happen? Like everything, every small, mundane, ridiculous thing, I'd be like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, my life is terrible. My job is terrible. And before I knew it, I finally came to realize that there was toxicity in the workplace. And I thought it was other people or the circumstances I was in because, I wasn't supposed to be there, or like I made the wrong decision or whatever. And what I realized is it was me, and I was the toxic person, and there was nothing wrong with my job. I was blessed to have a job, and I was blessed to have a job that was new and exciting, and that was a good source of income and something that I got along with all the people that I was working with. And it really took me, but literally the minute I realized it, almost, within that day, it was like my entire attitude shifted. And I was like, I am so grateful for this job. And because of that, it was like toxicity was gone. And I could figure out the things that I could learn from that job. I figured out how to get a mentor from that job. I figured out how to learn things that propelled me to my next job. And it just was because I changed my attitude to that of being grateful for the small things, like you said, because the small things add up. We always think that we have to be grateful for our entire circumstances, and I just don't think it's that way. I don't think that's what we're called to do, because I don't always think that's possible. There's going to be parts of your circumstances that are not great. There's going to be parts of your circumstances that might be downright painful. But when you strive to find good things, like Daryl said, in the small things, and you're grateful for, you know what? I had a bowl of oatmeal this morning that was outstanding, and I can find great, like I can be thankful and appreciative of that bowl of oatmeal. And it will really, it changes your attitude. Like it's changed my life.
Yep. I had the same bowl of oatmeal this morning, and my gratitude wasn't in the bowl of oatmeal because I waited too long and it got cold and stiff. But my gratitude was in that I did have breakfast that morning that was prepared for me by my wife. So I was like, oh man, this oatmeal is nasty. And then I was like, you know what? Even though it's nasty, I got breakfast. I'm not going to be hungry by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I had the same bowl of oatmeal, but mine wasn't, the taste wasn't that good, but I was grateful to have it because by 10 o'clock, I was still, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
And I ate the oatmeal. I fought through
Even
it.
if it was cold.
cold and stiff. I ate it.
You have a microwave in your office.
I know.
Which you could also be thankful for.
Yeah, I didn't have time to use the microwave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I have days like that.
I was trying to get the oatmeal down before I went into a meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have days like that. So
I found gratitude in the fact that I had something to eat for breakfast. And you prepared it for me. I was grateful that you thought enough of me to prepare me a bowl of oatmeal.
Well, yes, I do love you, and I don't want
appreciate
you to be
that.
hungry. So, plus one time I was sitting in a meeting and your stomach growled so loud, and I'm like, that can't happen again.
You left me hanging that morning. You left me hanging that morning. It's like the mornings and I'm grateful for the mornings that you prepare me something, and I'm also grateful for the moments that you don't.
Oh, you're so sweet. See, using the attitude of gratitude to change the perception.
But that morning, that was that 10 o'clock. That was like that. I didn't eat the bowl of oatmeal.
I know.
I was just like, woo. It was tough.
Actually, we might have been in church.
We were in our small group.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, we were in our small group.
Yeah, I felt bad about that.
I was like, oh, this is rough. But, no. Yeah, I was hungry.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
I wanted to back up because you said something. You was hitting on something. And I actually wrote it in the notes, and you were like dancing all around. You were talking about how the circumstances can maybe not be good all the time, but you can still find ways to be thankful and show gratitude. And that was one of my scriptures.
Oh,
one of my scriptures.
Give it to us.
That I wrote down. Because I was telling you, I said earlier that I had like quotes and scriptures that like I just kind of think of and am reminded of to show gratitude. And you were like all around it. So 1 Thessalonians, my main man, Paul, was writing to the church who was kind of in a stale state. And he just kind of wanted to remind them that on the other side, you will be rewarded. So give thanks right now. And he said, be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus. So you were talking about all the different circumstances, and you were like, oh, this is going on. This is bad. This is not working out for me. But you can still find a way to be thankful in it, as my man Paul said in 1 Thessalonians. Be thankful in all circumstances, because while you're in it, there are things that you can't see or things that you might overlook. But on the other side, there's going to be joy. There's going to be happiness. And you need to be thankful in all circumstances.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to hit that. I had it on here as one of my like go-tos. I'm just like, be thankful in all circumstances.
Yeah.
Even though I'm struggling right now, I'm thankful to be here to go through the struggle.
Well, I think we're called to, and I think we're called to for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
But I think that our own well-being is one of them, because you can get caught in circumstances. Like, I'm talking about something that I think that people can relate to, because most people have probably found a job that they're not thrilled in, right? But there are circumstances that can be really heavy, that can deal with sickness and health issues, or, you know, maybe you're going through financial burdens, and you have a hard time finding your happiness in those circumstances. And I think that we're called to still give thanks because of something that you said, and that was lasting joy.
Yep.
And joy is different from happiness. You may not always feel happy. Like, happiness is an emotion, but joy is just the belief that things are going to be
work out in your favor.
Right, because there's
gonna be better on the other side.
Exactly. There's something that's bigger than you, that is better than you, that you have faith in. And so I think we're called to be thankful for that reason also, because it's for our own well-being and for our own good. And really, you know, I've seen, even in hard situations and in hard times, my attitude is turned around, which makes me feel like my life is turned around, because your attitudes affect your actions, and your actions affect your life ultimately.
Yeah.
So
it's like a song that we used to sing in my church growing up.
Sing it.
I am not gonna sing it, but it's also a scripture too from my man David, the Psalms. Now I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
This is
the day. Yep. This is the day that the Lord has made.
That's right.
We didn't sing it like that. We had, hey.
Yeah.
This is the day. This is the day. You gotta put some that some the Lord has made. That the Lord
You're
has
playing
made.
the drums over here now.
I will rejoice.
Y'all should see his feet going.
I will rejoice and be glad in. You know.
I got you.
This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. Not the you had the. This is.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, I ain't gonna do that to you. Anyways, yeah. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Through all circumstances, in everything, in all things, give thanks.
Yes. Psalms 118:24. Like you said, your man David.
My main man David, my homie Paul.
Oh,
them my dudes, man.
Paul, that is an interesting. So if you guys are like, whoa, you guys have, are speaking a little bit differently than what we're used to. If you go back and listen to last week's episode, you'll figure out why. But as I've delved more into the Bible than I ever have before,
I would have said this. Don't forget where you're going. I would have said this same thing that I just said in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way.
And I wouldn't have said where it was coming from.
True.
So if you go back and listen, so it's nothing really different. Yeah. I'm just actually telling you now what those quotes are. I'm like, there's a quote that I always refer to that say, in all things, give thanks, Yeah. And now I'm just telling you where it comes from. So, but go ahead, tell us what you were saying about.
Well, I was just saying, I admire Paul and his story. The Paul from the New Testament. I don't think it was Paul from the Old Testament. But Paul and his story.
Oh, she said Paul from the New Testament. What Paul you talking about from the Old Testament?
Well, I was also thinking, Paul was Saul.
Saul, yeah.
Before he was named Paul.
Yeah. I'm talking about Paul is my dude. Saul, I ain't better call Saul. I ain't messing with him. I'm talking about Paul. That's my dude. That's my homie.
Anyway. Okay, so I think we should...
David, though.
Yeah.
He? And the other side.
Yes. Sorry, I had to think. Yes, the Old Testament.
Yeah,
yes,
he on the other side.
He is on the other side.
All right.
Yep.
I'm talking about my man Paul.
I know. Paul is an interesting... He's very admirable.
Yeah.
His story. So anyway, if you're curious... Go read the Bible. But anyway, so let's give these people a few practical tips to help them find gratitude every day, because I do think this can be difficult after we've given this assignment for years in one of our classes is for our students to write a gratitude journal. We only ask them to do it for a week.
Yep.
We only ask them to do 3 entries for a week.
Yeah.
And they find it challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think, I don't know. I'm not going to philosophize really as to why it's challenging for people to find their gratitude. But I think that you really hit the nail on the head when you talked about finding gratitude and thankfulness for small things throughout your day. And so we want to give you some tips on how to do that. Yeah.
So we talked about the gratitude tree.
Yeah, which again is a really great exercise, especially
and
with
it's
kids.
Depends on what your arts and crafts skill set look like. It's real easy.
It is really easy. If I can do it, you can do it.
I mean, they got to cut out leaves and draw a tree, and she got little grass at the bottom that moves with the wind.
I did do that.
So now she really does have free flowing grass at the bottom.
Yeah, that was fun.
That I'm just waiting for Vaughn to tear down one day.
He hasn't done it yet.
But he play with it every time he walk by. He be thinking about it.
He thinks about it. Someday that grass is gonna come down.
He be thinking about it.
I'm just trying to make it to Thanksgiving.
He talking about some, hey, let me go ahead and cut this for y'all. He be thinking about it. He walk by it and he'll reach out to it and kind of do the little, flick it with his little fingers, and then he'll look at it. And then he'll keep moving. I'm like, whew, we made it another day.
Yeah.
The grass lives on.
The grass lives today. He's so funny because he's we'll be like, hey, Vaughn, we all do what we're thankful for. We'll be like, hey, Vaughn, what are you thankful for? And he'll be like, no.
You thankful for no? Okay, all right.
Okay, cool. Or a few times he said Jell-O.
He said Jell-O. He did say Jell-O a couple of times.
Yeah.
And a couple of times he's like mama or dada.
Every
now and then. It depends. So
usually it's no.
It's no. No or Jello.
No or Jello.
One of the two.
I'm thankful for a Jello too, so I can't blame him.
Also, we talked about the gratitude journal. That's something that we do with our class, and it works. Also, a part of that gratitude journal that I don't think we've mentioned is that we make them identify somebody like in their life that they're thankful for, and we make them. What do we make them write? Like thank you cards or something like that?
I don't think we did this in our class, but
when did we do that?
We were also leading
a
workshop for, I think, some of our student leaders.
Our student leaders, that was a workshop.
And they text the person that they were grateful for to tell them that they were thankful for them.
That's right. I remember
at that very minute, they had to pull out their phones
and text somebody
that they were grateful.
Thankful for or grateful for. So that's another way.
And even that was hard for some of them to do.
Yeah.
I guess because maybe when you become thankful, and especially if you express it, you maybe perceive that you're being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Probably so. It could be. Also, depending on, like, for that particularly, like, the relationship, some people might feel weird, like, I'm going to text my mom out of nowhere that thank you, I love you, thanks mom, I'm thankful for you. You know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah. It's kind of
and then mom's like,
hey, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Or one of the dudes that was in the session, mom texted back and said, no, you can't have any money.
I remember that.
Yeah, she was like, no, you can't have any money. And he was like, he texted his mom, we're not going to say who, but he texted his mom and he was like, hey mom, I just wanted to say that I'm thankful for you and I'm grateful to have you in my life. And her reply right back to him was, no, you can't have any money.
I forgot about that. That was so funny.
Yeah. So, but definitely that's something that you can do on your own. Like find somebody that you're grateful for, you're thankful for, and just send them a message. If you can text them, or if you want to call them. That's even better. If you want to handwrite them a letter or write them a card, do that.
Yeah.
That's a way of kind of expressing gratitude. So that kind of goes along with like showing it through like weekly actions, by giving, if it's giving, or if it's verbal, by saying, I appreciate you. Showing gratitude that way is another way to do. I know that weekly, I try to do it weekly. It's tough though. So now I try to do it more often, not weekly, so that I know that it happens a couple of times within that week to like kind of just knock that out. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you do it weekly, like, oh, did I do it this week yet? So now I'm just like, I did it like 5 or 6 times. I'm good. I'm covered for the week. Where it's intentional and it's memorable, because I know I do it a lot more. I'm sure a lot of people do it a lot more, but it kind of just happens and you don't think anything about it. But if you think about it and it says, this is me going forth and showing gratitude in this action. Yeah. And making sure you kind of attach it to, you doing it. Yeah. So, I think, and this kind of reminds me or makes me think about in the workplace, especially like for you oversee a staff, and staff members really need to feel like they have purpose and encouraged and appreciated for the work that they're doing. And so I think this is an important step for any of you who oversee staff members. I had this discussion with my supervisor of like, we did a retreat and we talked about the 5, is it work? It's like love languages. Yeah, it's like love languages for work. Yeah. It's so, like what? It's the gifts, same as it's like gifts. It's appropriate touch. Giving gifts. Appropriate touch. Affirmation, words of affirmation. Acts of service. And quality time. So it's all the same ones as like the 5 love languages for like your partner. It's just in a work setting. And so we took that little assessment that Gary Chapman has. If you don't know what we're talking about, Gary Chapman has the 5 love languages. Yeah. So we took that assessment, and mine was by far, if you listen to us, mine is words of affirmation. And hers was, I think, quality time and gifts. So
we just sat down and had the discussion of like, how can you feel appreciated and how can I thank you best? And so after having that conversation, like, she knows that I just want every once in a while, like if she's giving me instructions or feedback on a project, I just want to hear like, you did a great job and here's how you can change it. And for her, I'm like, I can just bring you a couple donuts and you're all set. So, you know.
Donuts
she loves. Not chocolate, but anything besides chocolate donuts she loves. So
okay,
I can bring her a few and she's happy camper.
All set, huh?
Yeah. So I think it's important. This made me think of the workspace because it is important to show appreciation and show gratitude, especially if you have a lot of employees that like you do.
Yeah.
And so this is important to keep them going.
Yeah. What else?
Yes.
What do we have next?
So things that I added to your tips were to start in the small things, which I think we've really talked about a lot. We touched on that, yeah.
They add up.
They really do. And for me, it kind of goes with the next one. So I have been recently using worship to do this. And there is a song that's very specific that we actually hear often because it's in our playlist that we play through dinner. And it's called So Will I. And I don't know if Hillsong, the band Hillsong, wrote it. We'll link to it in the show notes. But I don't know if they wrote it, but they sing it, and they sing it amazingly. And it's really this great story of like creation and redemption, and it kind of tells that story, but it makes me very thankful for everything because it starts with like it's a worship song praising God for the way that he has created everything he's created, and because it's so detailed in how it's praising him for this, it's a song that makes me like even look around and think about how he created the trees. And I'm become very thankful for the trees and for nature and for, why are you looking crazy?
Go ahead, baby.
Oh, so anyway,
one of us, I told him in the last episode, if she want to be deep, baby. I'm right here with you.
But this is how, like, if
I got you.
If I'm ever feeling down and I need to be thankful for something, I will put this song on. Like, one of the is every painted sky a canvas of your grace, and so it just makes me very thankful for. It just makes me thankful for our world and for being a part of the world and for the small things in the world. So it's a really good practice in gratitude for me.
I listen to the songs too every night, so it makes me feel good too. Yeah, it makes me feel grateful.
Yeah. And then this one is big. This one has been the thing that, like I kind of mentioned in my story before, but even on smaller scales, kind of like you've mentioned, like as a mom, I am most guilty of this with our kids. And that is the like, oh my goodness. There was a morning this week that was the perfect example. And I'm so thankful that I was able to find my thanks in that morning, because literally we woke up, we're good. We're great. We get stuff ready. Like, we're getting ready to go to work. And then we go get up Anna and Vaughn. And this particular morning, they were both so whiny, which neither one of us is thrilled with when they're whiny. I'm just like, there's only so much I can take. And usually it's only one of them. And we can like kind of behavior correct and or ignore it. But it was both of them. It was both of them.
They were.
Oh my goodness. And so it's so
crying
easy.
Babies.
Oh my gosh, they were.
I didn't say cry babies. I said, man, these are some crying babies.
They were crying babies. They were. It can be so easy for me to lose my attitude of gratitude in those moments and just get frustrated and lose my patience. And that happens often because, hello, we're parents. And we do, I mean, I want to say that this is normative because I don't want people to feel bad. Like, this is something I struggle with. And so if you struggle with it, you're in good company. But I've learned to turn my groans is what I have on here. I've learned to turn my groans into thankfulness and praise. So and it has to happen in your mind because you'll lose that patience so quick. And so in my mind, I'm like, God, give me strength. I am thankful for these 2 babies.
I be trying to help though. Like I can sense it, and I try to intervene and go in. But sometimes, I try to turn mine into thanks too. But there are some times where it be tough. But I'm starting to do it more, especially with you and you and the kids and this vehicle. Oh my gosh! I'm just like, I'm thankful that I have a car. I don't care if they just ding it up, hit the doors, leave stuff everywhere. I reached up under the seat and pulled out a protein bar, an open protein bar with hair and stuff. I'm just like, ew. Take some ownership. No,
cutting out.
No, but I'm thankful though that you are giving our kids something to eat. Did that work? Was that good?
Sure.
Was that some gratitude?
Like,
no, but I'm
like the backhanded compliment.
But I'm just saying though, like little things, like I'm just like, I'm thankful that we even have this to even mess up. Because there are people who probably don't even have cars and that wish that they did have cars. So I try to flip everything and turn my groans into gratitude, which sometimes is like tough. When our little dude takes all the DVDs out and I'm just like, God, what do you do? You know what? My little dude is mobile. He got use of his limbs.
Yep.
And he's
exploring. He's doing what 19 months olds do.
So I try to take it and flip it, even though sometimes it'd be tough. I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah. And it helps to do the perspective thing of like, what does this really mean in the grand scheme of my life? Like if I'm going to be upset about this one thing, about like, sure, the kids having a fit or like the DVDs or the car, like if I'm going to be upset about this one thing, it's going to ruin my day. And does it really matter in the grand scheme of my life and my happiness and my joy? And that's been my, like, I have to be super careful because I can let one thing ruin my whole day.
Yeah.
And it's, I just think gratitude it's really changed me.
Yeah. It helps. So
yeah.
I think that if you are currently doing any type of gratitude journaling or tracking or mindset, adjusting, keep doing it, because it works. And if you're not, just try it for a little while and see if it makes you feel any better. And I think it will. It'll kind of change your perspective a little bit. And there's nothing too small that you can be thankful for.
Right.
It's not go big or go home all the time.
Right.
And you can be thankful for the small things because they do add up. So
yeah.
Show more gratitude. Be thankful in all things, all circumstances.
Yes. Agree.
Well, that's been it.
That's it.
We are grateful for y'all.
Yep.
Our listeners.
Yes.
We appreciate you. We thank you.
We do.
Keep rocking with us. And we love you, all white girl sororities. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep up the good fight. Until the next time.
We out.
We out.
Bye.
Peace.